Your journey can only begin when the self-doubts stop. The first step is harnessing your bravery within. Believing in you is your host, Sean Williams. Hello and good day to you all. My name is Sean, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to another Honorable Warrior episode on Bravery Within. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys are fantastic. You guys have been continuously supporting the podcast. It's growing. We're getting more downloads. We're getting more likes on the YouTube page. I can't thank you enough. I continuously hope that you guys share the episodes off the YouTube page onto either, I don't know where you, Facebook or Twitter or, I'll be honest, like I said before, I'm not very good at the social media platforms. I try, I honest to God do try, but I'm not very good at it. Remember, I'm old school, and let's just be honest, I'm old and I have a hard time keeping up with it. I'm not like you younger folks out there that just instantly have it, which I so envy because you guys have got it figured out. But I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing. And I finished up with season 1 of my weight loss series. There's a total of 35 episodes in there. I'll be bringing those back probably, I don't know, somewhere around February or something like that there. When we get back into it, I just wanted to concentrate on my own weight loss and get through the holidays. There's a lot going on here. So what I wanted to do today to help all the gentlemen that are out there to the very best of my abilities, you guys are my extended family, and I want to do whatever I can to try to help you guys out. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's near and dear to me, part of it, and then the other part of it is a nightmare to me. I'll be very honest with you. So I'm hoping maybe to get some feedback once this episode comes out from you guys out there to see what you're going through. But today, episode 7 is called Old World Beliefs and Dating. And the first part of it is near and dear to me, old world beliefs. And the reason I put these two together, and I'll be honest, when I was writing up my notes for this episode, I had a hard time getting through the dating part because I'll be honest, I haven't been on a date in over a decade. I have been single so long that I'm thinking that I would probably have to go to the library and get a book on dating to get back into the world. I've been out of it for so long. But one thing that kind of really throws me off is my old world beliefs. Those are something near and dear to me, and those are right at the core of what makes me me. And unfortunately, when I'm sitting around talking to my family, when we sit around on Friday nights on our poker nights and stuff there, and we bring up all the topics that we hadn't talked about since last Friday, one of the topics that we talk about is dating and the changes that our world is going through. You can't even hardly keep up with the changes that are going on. Our country is just in an amazing flux. And I'm going to try to keep in mind that I live in the Midwest of the United States. This podcast is being heard in a total of 4 countries as of today. So, we're being heard over in Ireland, Scotland, China, Australia. It's incredible. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. So my point of view of doing this is probably going to vary a little bit from where you guys are. It can vary even from, since I'm in the Midwest of the United States, the coast, you kind folks out there on the West Coast and the East Coast seem to be like on the forefront of everything. So when there's changes that happen or something new comes along, you guys seem to get it a little bit faster because that's where most of the people are kind of all together. So you guys see the changes a lot faster than what we do. We're kind of isolated out here in the Midwest, where it takes a lot longer for us to see changes, to go through and do different things. So we're really not on the front line of everything that's going on in this world. So everything that's going to be coming from me today to you, keep in mind that some of you may think that, well, Sean, some of those beliefs could be as much as 100 years old. Some of them are even older than that. And you are absolutely correct. I'm not going to debate you on that one. But to me, my mom raised me with old world beliefs, and my dad had a hand in that too. And there's so many things that what I mean by old world beliefs, and I'll talk about those, just some of the things that make me who I am. and the way I was raised, the way I was taught, and I still believe in them. But the problem that I'm running into today, and we've discussed this, I've discussed this with my family on our Friday night poker nights, is the old world beliefs don't jive with today's dating and today's world. Which is really, really sad, because those old world beliefs, to me, that's what makes me me. And I've talked to a lot of men out there about these episodes and about different things over the years, and it wasn't even about the episodes because there's many years. And I would just talk to them about, okay, how do you see the world? How do you believe? How do you conduct yourself? How do you keep yourself, basically a man? I mean, when you really break it down, and we're all expected to be very stoic. We're supposed to be non-emotional. We're supposed to be the pillars for everybody. And one thing that I am trying to, and I raised my son differently. Yes, I raised him. He's a very strong individual. He's a good man. He stands up for what's right and what's wrong. He's got, his moral compass is straight north. He's got it figured out. And the people that I hang out with are the same way, and we all jive together, which is really, really nice. But I've talked to a lot of men over the years, because when you're growing up, they're basically your template for how should you conduct yourself. What does it mean to be a man? And like I said, we're not supposed to have emotions. We're supposed to compartmentalize everything and not show if we hurt or if we're in pain, or if we're even in physical pain. You're not allowed to show it, and I've talked about that in other podcasts. But one thing that I wanted to do differently with my son, and I did, is I wanted to say it's okay to have emotions. We all have them. You can't deny it. I mean, I can hear you guys out there listening saying, "Oh, Sean, I'm tough. I'm man. I eat raw meat. I kill things." Whatever you want to say to classify yourself as a man. But when you break it down, we were all pretty much programmed the same way. Is we don't say when we're in pain. We don't say when something bothers us. We don't show emotion. We don't do any of that stuff. We're just supposed to be like, basically, I guess, statues. And that's the way I was raised. And I wanted my son to have some of those qualities, but I also wanted to give him a little bit of an advantage of it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to talk about when something bothers you, when you're hurt after a bad relationship or a breakup, or if you had a bad run in school or at work, or whatever it is, whatever the problem is, it's okay to talk about it. And I get in trouble with my family constantly about how I keep everything locked up. And the problem is when you were raised that way, and I've worked very hard to change. It's just not an overnight change is the bad part. And I'm working very hard to try to let more and more people in. And I'm not the best at it. And I honestly will probably never be great at it. I'm 49 years old now. So more than half of my life is done. I mean, there's more time behind me than there is in front of me anymore. So making the changes gets harder and harder because it's basically all that you know. And I like helping people. I want to help as much as I possibly can. I want to be there for them all that I can. And that's old world beliefs in many respects. Now, granted, there's a lot of the younger generation that's come up, and they have different viewpoints, which I think is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that, because I think that's what makes us move forward, is different viewpoints and different dreams and different beliefs. I think that helps move us forward. I really, really do. But you have old people like me that are rooted in the past, and we have a hard time changing. I've done my very best, and I try very hard every day to change, to get a little bit, to accept a little bit more of what's going on and everything. But the old world beliefs that I hang on to, they're at the core of who I am. And that's just something that you just don't change. I mean, I've done a lot of changing over the past 2 years. I had to really dig in, and I really had to do a lot of self-introspection to find out, what do I want out of life? Where do I want to go? What are my hopes and dreams? I mean, there were so many different things, and I had to look inwards for that. And that was really, really hard. And then to take those beliefs that you lock into and you love and you were raised on, and to question them was the hardest thing I think I've ever done. But I've been trying to expand my mind and try to be open to some of the new things that are out there. I'll be honest, the whole thing about dating still throws me for a loop. I'm not going to be the best person to do any recommendations with dating. But since you guys are my extended family, I'm going to do my very best to try to help you. But some of I keep saying about the old world beliefs. So I don't know if some of you understand what I'm talking about by that now that I'm a long ways into the episode. But some of the things, what I mean by old world beliefs is a lot of respect things. And the problem is a lot of these things, most of these things I've actually gotten in trouble for because it bothered somebody. It was like, I'm just showing respect. And it throws people for a loop. It's like, no, I'm independent. I don't have to be that way. And unfortunately, there's one sex that is having more trouble with this than the other sex. And I'm not gonna dive in. I'm not pointing fingers. That's not what I want to do here. My whole goal here is just basically to try to help the gentlemen out there. And I know there's ladies that listen, and thank you very much for listening to the podcast. And hopefully some of the things that I'm explaining and talking about will make you see us from a different point of view. I'm not sure if it's going to work that way, but that's my hope. So some of the things that I consider old world beliefs, like the first thing is you say please and thank you for everything. I mean, we literally got spanked when we were young if you didn't say please and thank you, especially if if you didn't show any respect to your elders. I mean, when it come down to it, I mean, you had to make sure you say please and thank you and be grateful for whatever they gave you or whatever you got. You had to make sure that you covered the bases that way. If not, oh my goodness sakes, you got a pop on the butt saying, okay, it was kind of an attitude adjustment saying, you're being disrespectful. You need to change. So we learned really, really fast to make sure that no matter who it is, you just always say please and thank you. And to this day, I say it constantly. Probably, another one I threw in there is I apologize a lot. I'm always saying sorry because I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to offend anybody. And I want to make sure that I do the best job that I can. And when I don't do the best job that I can, then I apologize and say, okay, I'll do better next time. I really, really apologize. Another thing that I do all the time, which this has gotten me into a lot of trouble as of late, and I really wish people would understand, this is a sign of respect. This is not being disrespectful in any way, but I say sir and ma'am out of respect all the time. And I was just raised, that's what you do. You have a lady, it's always yes ma'am. Or if you have a guy that you're answering, yes sir, it's no problem. And that one has really fallen away. A lot of people have kind of gotten away from it, which kind of breaks my heart because, I've had so many people tell me, well, that's just disrespectful. It's not disrespectful because we're showing respect for you by saying ma'am and sir. And I never, you could say it, yes, ma'am. Well, of course, that's not respectful. You're trying to say something else, just using those words. But to me, always saying yes, ma'am, and yes, sir is a sign of respect, and I say it all the time. And there's a lot of people that say thank you for being that way. But then I run into some folks there that they say, well, I'm too young to be a ma'am, or I'm too young to be a sir. Well, maybe you are, but I don't know your name, and I want to show you respect still. So I say ma'am and sir, and even after I know your name, I still say it. It's just an old world belief. You open a door for somebody with a smile and expect nothing in return. Anytime that somebody holds a door open for me, I always say thank you and I wish them a good day. And it throws them for a little bit of loop because they're expecting the thank you, but they don't expect, hey, have a great day. I hope everything goes well for you. I always add something extra on there because I don't know if they're having a bad day, or if it's early in the morning, when I go to my favorite little convenience store and stuff there and get my breakfast and see all my favorite people there. And I always, they're just slowly waking up. I always want to say, hey, have a great day. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I try to always do that. I'm not perfect at it, but 99% of the time I do. And if I hold the door open for somebody, I don't expect anything in return. A thank you is nice, but it's not expected. You don't have to reciprocate. I'm just showing you respect by holding the door open for you. Another thing that I have is I help somebody in the store that can't reach something on a shelf. It's just instead of them getting hurt, I want to be able to help them and try to make their life a little bit easier. So I've helped, and I've gotten in some trouble from the opposite sex, unfortunately, and they get mad at me because they say they don't need a man's help there to help them out, or they can do it on their own. They're strong enough. Absolutely, I'm not arguing that point. You're absolutely strong. You're amazing, and you hold your own. And I don't know all that you're going through. I wasn't doing it as a sign of disrespect. I was doing it as I was just trying to help. So for that one there, I've kind of gotten away from a little bit because I've gotten chewed out more for it than I've ever gotten a thank you. So I've kind of gotten away from that one, but I try to hang on to it because it's something that I was raised on. You always protect your lady or your partner and your family from danger. That's something that I take to heart, and all my family knows that I work overtime to make sure that they're okay. I remove, which I don't wear these, but I know other ones do, and like my son, you remove your hat when you're inside, saying hello and thank you to someone, or when saluting the flag. It's just a sign of respect, and I think that's a very, very good one. That continues on to today. It's not done quite as often as which I think it should be, but then again, that's up to the individual person, and it's not for me to say. But to me, it was just you always remove your hat and say thank you, or yes ma'am, or yes sir, or anything like that. Another one that we do, which this is actually kind of rare anymore, I hope it comes back, but you stand up when a lady gets up from the table. It was just a sign of respect back in those days, and we do the same thing as much as we possibly can. We're not great at it, but we do try to do it there a little bit, especially if you're out on a formal date, which, like I said, I haven't been on in over a decade, so but you just do, and it's just a respect thing. You never use foul language around relatives or seniors. You just I just don't. I try to stay away from that as much as I can, because I just try to show them a little bit of respect. And then another one was you always thank a veteran for their services and their sacrifices. I talk to a couple gentlemen every morning, and they were in the military, and I always make sure that I say thank you, or I buy them coffee or something like that, just to say thank you for their sacrifices and everything that they did for us. So those are some of the old world beliefs. So if you didn't know where I was coming from with this one here, because like I said, things are different out on the coast or down south or in another country. I understand that. So, and I don't know if different areas still do some of these things. Like I said, we're kind of isolated here in the Midwest, so I'd like to think that this stuff is still happening. But to me, that's just some of the old world beliefs that I was raised on, and it's at my core. To me, it just, respect and kindness kind of goes hand in hand with old world beliefs. I'm afraid that people see it as a weakness or it's being disrespectful anymore, that's not what it's meant for. But trying to get everybody to understand that, like I said, everything is shifting so fast anymore. This world is changing so fast. It is so difficult to try to keep up and to make sure that you say the right thing or do the right thing, or it's just like, holy smokes, this is just crazy about how it's changing. But that's just the way it is, so we learn to pretty much go right along with it. Another part that I wanted to talk about today, and like I said, I'm not going to be very good at this because, like I said, it's been over a decade since I've been on a date, is just flat out dating. I haven't actually, I was with the same lady and married. We were married for almost 13 years, together 17, and before that, so now you add another, we've been separated, or divorced now for almost 14 years. So altogether, that's 31 years. You take that off my 49, that puts me back at 18. That's probably the last time I've been on a date. long time ago. So I'm probably not the best person to talk about it, but I wanted to bring it up just mainly because I just see that the dating world, and I've done the dating apps, don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to say anything bad about any of them, although I didn't have any good luck with them, and I just got taken advantage of on them by the apps. I'm not naming any apps because I don't need them coming after me. But I haven't had any good luck with them. I've talked to a lot of people. They haven't had any good luck with them. You can read articles in the paper stating that nobody's having any luck with them because there's so many people out there that put the fake profiles out there, and they try to take you for whatever they can get out of you. And I don't understand how these people can make it in the world knowing that they're that sleazy and trying to take advantage of people. It's like we're trying to just go to work, make money, pay our bills, take care of our family, and try to keep going. And it would be nice to have somebody basically to share your life with. And when you get older like me, it just, having somebody there to talk to at a long day, or you sit on the deck and you just talk about deep thoughts, or sometimes you just sit there and you don't say anything, but yet you just have that person there. Because like I've said before, our time on this earth is finite. You can't beg, borrow, or steal for any more time. You can't go to a convenience store and buy, oh, I'm going to go buy another 30 days worth of life. It just doesn't work that way. Now, I'm guessing someday when, when our technology gets so advanced and they start plunking us into android bodies, well, then I guess we live forever. Then we don't have to worry about the passage of time. But as of now, that's not an option. So we just have to, basically enjoy the time that we have. We can't get any more. So to me, it's not that I haven't tried. I have tried several different dating apps. And I've tried the whole where you try to talk to somebody in the store. Remember, I'm an introvert. We don't like talking for the most part. We have a hard time with it. And that makes it very, very difficult to try to go up and just meet somebody, because this world is so different from compared to, when I was dating back in the 80s. I mean, it is completely different from what I learned. And I've talked to many, many guys out there, and even the ladies, they'll say, oh, it's difficult to traverse the dating world. It's insane. And I've read many of articles on how difficult it is to meet people. There's 7 billion people in this world. You would think it would be easy to meet somebody, and it's not. And then if you're somebody like me that I'm no good at dating, I'll be honest. I like I said, I probably have to go to the library and check out a book to read up on how to date somebody. Is pretty much what I'm having to do. I mean, I read articles online just for, to see what I was doing wrong, and it's like, oh, okay, well, and then I do everything they tell me to do, and it still doesn't work. I go onto the dating apps, and I have it, I have them help me design it so that way it'll attract somebody, and the only thing it attracts are people that are trying to take money from me, or stalk me, or anything like that there, and it's like, all right, I'm at a loss for words. I don't even know where to go anymore with this stuff. And it makes it very difficult because everything has gone online anymore. We pay our bills online. We search for information online. We get emails. We get, all kinds of instant messaging. There's all kinds of crazy things. Everything has literally went online. Even my podcasts are online. You used to, turn to the radio when you wanted to hear something. Now there's a lot of us podcasters that are out there that are talking. Well, it's all online, and everything has migrated that way. And what they're learning is especially for men, that is not helping. It's really, really helping the suicide rates go up. They're basically feeling more isolated. They have far less friends. They don't go out and do as much stuff anymore. Now, granted, I understand a lot of them, and one thing that I read in an article, and they said a lot of them will play the online video games to talk to people and not go out. Okay, that's fine. And I'll be honest, I mean, plenty of people have told me that back in my day, if we had those games, we wouldn't have played them. We'd have been outside playing. Well, I hate to break your heart, but I'm going to be honest here. If I had the games that the kids have today, back in the 80s, I'd have never left the house. And I didn't anyway. I mean, I was locked in my room playing with my Legos and my constructs and building forts. And if I wasn't doing that, I was outside riding my bike and burning up wheels as I was, locking them up and sliding halfway down the block there, trying to, be all cool and everything. But it's like there's so much going on anymore. Trying to meet somebody, and to be honest, I don't. Gentlemen, if you're gonna listen to this podcast and hope to get some way of, hey, that idea is gonna work. I don't have any ideas on how to make the dating world any easier. I wish I did. I've talked to many people, and we're all pretty much the same way. It's kind of like, okay, the only things that I've been able to come up with is find hobbies that are the same. Join clubs. If you're into fishing, you go out fishing with a bunch of other guys to hang out and to talk to, or bowling, or, oh yeah, I said bowling. I can hear your eyes rolling, but yes, there's a lot of bowlers, and I love to bowl. Dart leagues, there's pool leagues, there's all kinds. There's book clubs, there's cooking clubs, there's painting classes, there's so many different things. And one of the biggest things they recommend is to get out there and pick up a hobby that you like, and then meet people that way. So that way you're out and about, and you're not just, because we all spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week at work. And your first thought is, well, I'll just try to find somebody to work because that's where I am all the time. And I understand that, but it just kind of causes problems most of the time, especially when the relationship goes south. And it's like, okay, well, now we still have to work together, even though we can't stand each other. It just causes a bad thing. So a lot of people have turned to the dating apps. And I'm not saying anything against them because I don't need to get sued. But I'm going to tell you, I didn't have any luck with them. I've tried them out now for 8 or 9 years, off and on. I haven't tried any lately. just mainly because I'm just frustrated in trying to find somebody. But and I fell for, in the beginning there, I didn't know what I was up against because I hadn't hadn't even tried to meet anybody. I mean, I had one girlfriend about 3 years after I got divorced, and it didn't last all that long, and I felt so bad because she was awesome, but I think we tried too hard, and it just didn't work out, and I felt so bad when I ended it, because she waited so long to date, and then it just didn't work out, and I lost a good friend over it, and that breaks my heart still to this day to lose a good friend. So then after that, it took a couple years. And then what I tried is I tried the dating apps to see if I could meet somebody, because I didn't know what I was up against. I had no idea. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to talk to. When you're an introvert, you don't talk to anybody. You keep to yourself. You have no problem. And I still, to this day, have no problem sitting in the house, reading a book or a magazine, or going for a drive in the hills, or, just a walk around the neighborhood, whatever it is. That's just the way us introverts are. So that makes it even harder. And one of the running jokes is well, you're an introvert, so the person that you're supposed to get with is going to magically beam into your living room and say, "Oh, here I am." and I know it doesn't work that way. It'd be great if it did, but it doesn't work that way. So it makes it very, very difficult to basically meet anybody. And in the beginning, I admit there was a person that I was talking to, and I thought they were genuine on my very first dating app, and I thought they were genuine, and I fell for the down and out person, and she ran me through the mill, got a bunch of money out of me, and before I realized what was going on, and then I ended it, and I didn't realize until a couple years later, I was told that's just what they do on there. They try to take you for all your money, and because they don't want to work and they don't want to actually go out and get a real job. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll know that one for next time. So anytime that anybody asked me for anything, I immediately blocked them and I quit talking to them. Now, there could have been some good people on there, but unfortunately, because of my bad experience, they got blocked. I've had people hack my accounts and attempt to get money and information out of me off the dating sites, which was like, okay, well, then you go and you block all that. I mean, it's bad enough that they try to hack my Facebook page, and it's like, I don't know what you're going to get out of it. There's nothing sensitive on there. I mean, I don't even really do that much. I mean, I'm not that great at social media. But, I mean, I've had that. I've been stalked. I mean, there was one person actually was who they were. They lived here in town, and they stalked me. They found out what my real name was, and they come after me. So then it was like, okay, we had a confrontation, and I ended that one. And I said, I have to, protect my family, and I don't need, I'm not interested, so we had to go separate ways. Not hardly anybody that I've talked to on any of those sites were who they said they were, and that makes it very difficult because there's a lot of guys out there like myself that are genuine. We say who we are, and we're honest and sincere about our emotions and our feelings. Even though, yes, I know a lot of guys don't talk about their feelings and emotions, but when you there's something about when you're talking to somebody on a screen, you know that you don't know exactly where they are, but it's just comforting because they're kind of a stranger. And I found that sometimes talking to a stranger about some of your more intimate or your problems seems to be a little bit easier. Now, whether I'm right on that one or not, I honestly don't know. But to me, it was, I tried it a little bit and opened up. I never said everything about me, of course. I said a couple things, just to see where it would go. And of course, as soon as you started having a conversation and talking to them, then all of a sudden it's like, well, I could use $100, or my electric bill is behind. Can you pay for it for me? Or I've had a couple of them say, can I just move in with you, because I don't have the money to live on my own anymore, and I don't want to work, so I'd like to just move in with you, and you could take care of me. And I'm going, no. It's not going to work out that way. Sorry about that. But, it's when you have, like me, when I was raised with my old world beliefs, you want to help everybody. And that's why I do my podcast. That's why I reach out to all of you, because I want to be there to do the best job that I can to help you. But you can only go so far. I mean, literally, the money that I make only goes so far. So to bring in somebody else that I don't even know who they are, and you want me to pay for you, it's just I don't have the money, and I just don't have the capabilities, and I'm not going to open up my home to a complete stranger to move in. Now, if you're having car problems and you need something there, come in for a few minutes, sit on the couch, call somebody, get some help. Okay, that's fine. But I'm not going to just open up the house to anybody there just to move in. It's like, goodness sakes. Okay, well, let's it's like, let's move on. We're not going to do anything. Block, and that's what happened. I've had my pictures used in forge accounts to get money out of other people, and I felt so horrible about that because I was cruising around looking for people, and all of a sudden I saw my own picture pop up, and I go, well, that shouldn't be possible. And I went in and looked, and it was a complete fake profile and everything else. So I reported them, and they got it pulled down. Of course, that brought mine down because they thought mine was forged as well. And then I realized, okay, well, you know what? I give up. I'm not going to try that one. I have been fat shamed big time on those sites. I didn't have any luck with them. Now, granted, yes, I'm down about 230 pounds. I'm cruising right along. But I'm still a big man, and even when I get my weight off, I'm still, size-wise, I'm still a big man, and I'll never be, the small, perfect, six-pack abs and Vin Diesel arms. I'll never have those. It's just not something that I want. And let's be honest, I'm almost 50, and to go to the gym constantly would probably kill me. So it's like, okay. And then I've been ridiculed out in public when people saw my profile. They would make fun of me saying, what are you on a dating app for? It's like, you have a chance, you don't have a chance to find anybody. And I took a lot of ridicule for that. So I basically just did whatever I could to stay away from them. But I have read up on trying to find some good things. I didn't find a lot of good things in the dating apps. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to pick on them. If you had success, I am so very happy for you. Honest to God, I am really, really happy for you, and I hope they work for you. I really do. I personally haven't had any luck with them, and I'm not naming any names. I won't do that because I don't need those companies coming after me. I mean, I don't know what they're going to get out of me. I'm broke, so it's not like they're going to get any money out of me, and I have no wish to slander them because I'm sure they've helped other people. I'm sure of it. Otherwise, they still wouldn't be in business if they weren't helping people. So, which I think is fantastic. They just didn't work for me, and and those things kind of conflict with my old world beliefs because a lot of them are, younger folks, and their beliefs and their morals are different than mine because they might be in a different area and they see things differently than what I see them. So I'm not knocking them for anyway. That's who they are, and they're perfect the way they are. This is just who I am, and sometimes they just don't mesh well for the most part. So, guys, when you're out there, I mean, I really do. Honest to God, I really, really hope that the sites work out for you and you can find somebody, because you deserve to find somebody that you can share your life with, and that's all I'm someday hoping to find, is somebody that I can share my life with. Like I said, I mean, I'm kind of sort of running out of time. I mean, let's be honest, I'm 49 years old. The clock is ticking, so it's cruising right along. So I try to be a little bit careful with the time that I spend with whoever it is, because when you only have a certain amount of time, you want to maximize it to the best that you can with whoever you can. So I don't think I've even touched even tried to date anybody. I don't think I've even tried to talk to anybody, the dating apps or anything, in probably a couple of years, to be very, very honest. I just don't think that I'll ever be with anybody ever again. It's just, I think some of us honestly are lone wolves. We're just meant to be alone. I think that's just the way it is. We're meant to, like me, I love helping people. I don't want to be held back by somebody saying, well, you said you were going to spend time with me. Yeah, well, this person's vehicle's broke down, or this person could use a little bit of food, or this person could, they're having a down day. They just need a shoulder to talk to, to lean on and to talk to. And I want to make sure that I can be there for them, because that's what I love doing. I love being there to help people. I love listening to their problems, and if they want, I'll do the best to give them a little bit of advice if I can. I don't want to steer them in the wrong direction. So some of the things, and I know this may sound funny, guys, because you're probably thinking, well, Sean, you have been absolutely zero help. And you're probably right. I probably haven't been any help. But I warned you in the beginning of of the episode that I'm not that great in the dating world, guys. I'm just telling you. But one thing that, instead of re-entering the dating world, because, I did when going through high school and then into college and after, there's a lot of guys out there, and this is really, really hard to say, but unfortunately it's true, but a lot of guys out there are looking to find somebody like their mom, and it's kind of like, no, I don't want to meet anybody like my mom. But I think what they mean by that is they want somebody to help them take care of the house or do the laundry. You're back to the old cliche things, and I know that still works in some areas, and there's nothing against it. I mean, if it works in your area and that's what both you are okay with, I'm fine with it. That's fantastic. I think there should be room for, and I know there's a lot of ladies out there that want to be stay-at-home moms. They just can't because there's not enough money to go around to pay the bills. But they should be able to have that option if they want to, and maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but you should be able to live your life the way you want to, and maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but I don't know, that's just kind of my belief is you should be able to do what you want and get what you want, but unfortunately the world just doesn't work that way, which makes it tough. So instead of re-entering the dating world, I've made it a point to kind of just basically close that book of my life and just never go back into it again. So what I did is some of the things how I cope with being single, because I've actually had people ask me, well, what do you do with all your time, and how do you make it as a single person? And I said, well, basically being self-sufficient is the biggest thing that I can say for me about being single. And, I haven't completely given up. There's like a 1% chance I've got, that I've kept the door open. But if that one right person was to walk into my life, I'm not going to just, oh no, I'm done with dating, I'm not interested. If there's somebody that I can share my life with that wants to genuinely be interested in me and spend their life with me, then yeah, I'm still open to the idea, but I just don't see it ever happening. So what I've done to basically cope with being single is I've learned to be completely self-sufficient. I can cook, clean, iron, sew, grocery shop, laundry, do the stuff outside, take care of the vehicles, you name it, I can do it. I may not be the best at it, I'll be very honest, but I can get it pretty much all done. I'm completely self-sufficient, and that's why I'm looking for, if somebody comes along, I'm looking for somebody to share my life with. I'm not looking for somebody to take care of me or, devote their entire day to me or whatever it is. As an introvert, though, we still have to have our own personal space. We still have to have our own time. That's just the way we are. And that's why I'm completely self-sufficient, because I don't need to rely on anybody. And it's not that I need anybody in my life. I want somebody in my life. And that is a completely different thing. I don't have to have somebody there 24/7, and I don't want somebody there 24/7. I'm fine with getting together for a day or two a week and calling it good. That's it. That's just the way us introverts work. If something else happens, then something else happens. But I'm not. To me, my whole life doesn't depend on dating or finding somebody else. I have hobbies with some of my guy friends that I go out and do things with. Like I said, I'm an introvert. I enjoy quiet time all the time. I go for drives, go for hikes. Willow and I will head out of town. There's all kinds of different things that I do to, help me with the single part. Is there times that it gets a little bit lonely? Yeah, there is. There's no doubt about it. There's just sometimes you'd like to be with somebody or talk to somebody or whatever it is. But that's completely, on the rare. I mean, it's not too often that happens, but it does happen from time to time. But I'm not going to just go out and find somebody to fill that space, whether we work together, click, or anything like that together. I'm just not going to, because I don't want to, their life is finite too. They've only got so much time. I don't want to ruin their life and burn up a bunch of time because I need somebody around. That's not it. I mean, I want somebody around. I want them, if they want to spend their time with me. To me, there's no more precious gift than you can give somebody than you have your own time. Because, like I said, you can't buy anymore, you can't get anymore, you can't beg, borrow, steal, nothing. Whatever our time is on earth, that's it. And we don't know how long we have. And the last thing that I would want to do is make somebody miserable to be in a relationship with me, because their time is finite as well. I don't want them to be unhappy. I want them to enjoy life. And that's So to me, that's why I pretty much stay single. I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to, make them feel bad or waste their time. I spend a lot of time up in the hills, like I talk about a lot, exploring back trails, taking pictures, and just overall just enjoying nature while on hikes. Sometimes I just sit on the tailgate of the truck and I look out and I've got some bluffs that we sit up on, and while Willow's around sniffing and doing her little puppy thing, I sit on the tailgate and I just look, and sometimes I've got some of them you can see for miles, and all you see is trees and water and birds, and I couldn't tell you how many, I've seen wolves, mountain lions, eagles, hawks, you name it. There's been so many. I mean, I literally have sat on a tailgate for so long. Deer literally walk by the truck. They didn't even realize I was there, and they just look at me and they just keep right on moving. They don't even hem-haw, which is really, really cool to see it, and to listen to like a wolf pack howl back and forth between families and stuff there. It's breathtaking. It so makes it worth it. Stargazing, laying in the back of the truck, looking up at the stars and just wondering what's out there and what's coming up is amazing. To me, that helps me get through some of those lonely nights and stuff there. Just looking up there thinking, how many other people, how many other species are out there? It's so amazing. How many more habitable worlds are out there? I have my podcast to help others. That's one thing that I so enjoy, is talking to you guys. And it means so much to me that you guys turn on my podcast and listen to me ramble for an hour. It means the world to me. And knowing that I'm helping some folks out there, that makes it even that much better. I've written books and I've published my own books. I'm not good enough. I'm still working on trying to get an agent. Apparently I'm not good enough to catch their eyes or anything like that. And hopefully someday that I'll be good enough to catch one of their eyes and they can help me get my books published on a bigger scale. I don't know when that'll be or if it'll be. But that's one of my hopes, and I just keep writing because I get lost in that world and I enjoy the heck out of it. I love movies. I got no problem sitting down and watching scary movies back to back to back. I absolutely just love them, and I spent a lot of money on my sound system so that way you can basically get into the movie a little bit more. So those are, the Aliens movies are phenomenal. I just have Alien and Aliens, the second movie and stuff, are some of the best movies ever created. I absolutely love them. I love the scary ones. I've learned how to cook nicer meals thanks to my weight loss journey, and thanks to my son. I'll be very honest. He has worked overtime to get my mind to expand into new foods, new seasonings, new flavorings. He has, I think there is days he goes and he leaves the house and bangs his head into a brick wall. He probably would get further than trying to get my mind to open up to new foods. And I admit it, when it comes to food, I am extremely closed-minded. I know what I like, and I don't change, and I don't deviate. So he's worked overtime getting me to try new things, and it has worked. I enjoy it. I eat better now than what I've ever eaten. There's more flavors, I have to admit. He's been phenomenally patient I'm in month 22 of my weight loss journey, and I'm proud of it and how far I've come and how much he's helped me. I work out in the yard and try to keep a nice place to live, so that way when you come home, you're proud of the place that you have. He helps me out with that. We make sure that we keep the staining up and the painting up, and we're always adding stuff to the yard and new shrubs and bushes and flowers and all kinds of different things. That helps me pass the time, which I love. I read now more than ever than I have before. I enjoy it there. I do a lot of research for my podcast to make sure that the information I'm bringing to you is the best. And one of the things that I've told people in the past that this helps them, and because I've had so many friends that will jump from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. They don't give themselves time to heal or try to figure out what went wrong or anything. They're so terrified of being alone, they literally just jump into another relationship whether the person is right or not. So the thing that I taught them, and it took me a while which I've always kind of liked it, I've learned to enjoy my own company. I've always been an introvert. You just naturally do. You get lost in your own thoughts, your own mind. You just get used to it. And a lot of my extrovert friends out there that are listening, you're going to go, Sean, I don't know how to do that. And I've had a lot of friends that tell me, I don't know how to enjoy my own company. I said, well, then that's when you go and you shut everything off, go someplace where you come to sit in your own living room on the couch, shut off the music, shut off the TV, shut off everything so you're not being influenced by outside stimuli, and sit there and figure out, okay, who am I? What do I like? What do I don't like? What makes me happy? What makes me unhappy? Start diving into those things and be completely honest with yourself. You'd be surprised in how far that goes and how much you get to know yourself. And it's like, okay, well, maybe this is why, I'm not that great in a relationship, or I'm not that great of a friend, or that great of a brother, or whatever the reason is and stuff. And you may find some new things about yourself. It's like, hey, I like that about myself. And then expand on it. Hey, maybe I need to take up that painting class, or maybe I need to go fishing a little bit more often, or anything like that. I mean, you'd be surprised that when you start to enjoy your own company and learn who you are, you'd be surprised in how much easier it is to be single and how much more you enjoy it. I've learned what I want out of life, and I'm not settling for less. Like I said before, I'm not going to just get into a relationship with somebody and waste their time when I know it has absolutely no chance of success. I don't want to waste their time. Like I said, our time is finite. We don't get any more. So I want to make sure that if I'm going to be with somebody, they want to be with me too, and I'm not wasting their time. So I've learned what I want out of life, and I just don't settle for less anymore. The other thing that I do basically to help me cope with being single is I protect my good energy at all costs. There's plenty of people that are always trying to, either get in your head or mess with you or control you or anything like that. There's a lot of negative spirits out there. There's a lot of negative entities. There's a lot of energy vampires out there that they try to take all your good energy. And I do everything I can to protect that, because what that does is that helps keep me from being depressed. At one point, like I've talked about, I was suicidal. I attempted suicide. Anything there, depression is a huge thing that gets a lot of guys, mainly because they're afraid to talk to anybody. They're afraid to open up and admit, hey, I'm lonely. I'd like to talk to somebody. Or, hey, I just went through this death and I have all these feelings and I don't know how to process them, how to deal with them. Or I just got out of a bad relationship, or whatever it is. They've just been taught that you're not allowed to talk about it. You have to compartmentalize it. You have to lock it away and not do anything about it. And that's one thing that I'm trying to get the guys out there today to understand, is you have to talk about this stuff. The thing that scares me the most is I've read so many articles where the suicide rate for men has skyrocketed because of this reason, because they can't talk, because they're afraid to talk. They were told not to talk. You have to get those emotions out. You have to get those feelings out, and you have to process them. I can't stress that enough for you. You can't hold everything in. And that's why I do these podcasts, because I worry about you guys out there, because we go through so much. We are pushed to the brink, right to the edge, almost on a daily basis. And we're expected to take it on the chin, shut our mouth, and keep right on moving. Well, it doesn't always work that way. And so I do everything I can to protect my good energy, because that helps me stay focused, that helps me stay positive, that helps me basically want to continue to do my podcast so I can help other people. And all I can say, guys, is you have to be very, very careful with that. You have to talk to people. I know it feels funny at first, and it's awkward, and you don't sometimes have the words for it, but you have to make the attempt. You have to find somebody that you feel comfortable with. And if there's questions that I can help with, you are more than welcome to email me, and I will do everything in my power to try to help you. I may not have all the answers, which I'm sure I won't, but I'll do my very best to try to help where I can. Just know that you're not alone out there, and there's a lot of other guys that feel the same way. It's just we were raised not to talk about this stuff or deal with it or anything like that. You have to start processing this stuff, guys, because when I see and I've seen so many times where the suicide rates among, and it doesn't matter, it's not just older gentlemen, it's younger gentlemen, it's encompassing literally all of us. It does, the suicide rate does not have an age range. I mean, granted, it's heavier between the guys between 40 and I think it's 55 years old. That's when basically a lot of the relationships have ended, marriages have ended, the kids are, you're going through all that stuff. So you have to find somebody to talk to, find a group to talk to, and just know, find somebody that isn't gonna make fun of you or anything like that. You have to talk to somebody. You have to process these feelings. You have to process these emotions. I can't stress this enough, because I don't want to see any of you guys make a decision that you can't come back from. And I've lost too many friends to suicide, and it's like I feel like I didn't do enough, and that's one of the major reasons why I started this podcast, was to try to help you guys out and get you to understand. Yes, I have my old world beliefs, but there are some understandings, old world understandings and beliefs that need to change. And one of them is we need to start talking and helping each other out. And being there a little bit more. And if a guy wants to talk about his feelings or something's bothering him, don't make fun of him, don't laugh at him, don't ridicule him, don't talk behind his back, nothing like that. Allow him to vent, to get that stuff off, because you don't know. A lot of the guys, they're right on the brink of making that ultimate decision and you can't come back from. So if you have a problem, or if there's anything like that that I can help out with, please email me. I would be more than happy to try to help, or a recommendation or something like that there to make sure you guys are okay. Because remember, you guys are my extended family, and I wanna be there as much as I absolutely can for you. So, okay, I'm gonna end the podcast there. I'm pretty well out of time for today. So if you have a moment, please subscribe to my YouTube page. That helps move me up in the algorithm, so it's easier to find it, so other people can find it, and hopefully we can help more and invite more extended family members into our family. I want to try to help as many people as I can. Like my Facebook page, I try to keep all the updates there as much as I possibly can. But overall, thanks so much for just listening to my podcast, recommending it to your friends, your family, anything like that. It just means the world that you're going to recommend me. It just helps out so much. I'm hoping that these podcasts, there's something in them that will help you get through the day. Know that I've got your back, and I'm here to support you. And because I know there's enough people out there that are trying to tear you down, and that's something that I'm not going to do on the show. I'm here to be 100% positive and to be there for you. So, okay, to end the podcast here, I'm going to end it, as always, with the dad joke of the day. So, if you guys are ready to go out there and start groaning a little bit, I got a pretty good one here today I think you're going to like. So, here's the dad joke of the day. Do you know that I found a wooden shoe in my toilet today? That's because it was clogged. I love that one. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. You guys are amazing. Stay strong, stay positive. Know that I got your back, and I think you guys are absolutely fantastic and amazing. And as always, all my love and support, Sean.